Welcome grade 7. Welcome to a new lesson about literature. Today's lesson is about analyze, craft, and structure of the story we are still working on, which is From the Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. In our story today, or in our lesson today, we are focusing on the literary element of this story, which is the theme, and how can we identify the theme of a literary work or a novel or a story we are reading. First of all, the word theme means it is the central message, the main idea of the novel or story. The theme can be expressed as general truths about people or life in the story. And throughout the story, a theme can be developed by number one, the setting. What does it mean, the setting of the story? The setting refers to the time and the place in which a story happens or takes place or occurs. You can identify the setting from details about the time and the place mentioned in the story. Also, the theme of the story can be developed by the cultural and historical context. And this refers to the social, cultural, and historical environment of the characters, including major events that affect them. Also, we can identify the theme of the story through the characters' actions and reactions in different situations. If we apply this on the story From the Grapes of Wrath, we can find that in the story From the Grapes of Wrath, the setting is Oklahoma during the Great Depression period. It was a very, very hard period in the history of this place. If we focus on the cultural and historical context, we can identify that the historical and cultural context of this story is the ongoing and permanent drought that hit the period, or that hit this place. And also it led to the disappearance of usable farmland, and it led to great poverty that spread all over the people during this time. And using or focusing on the action and reactions of the character in the story, which can be clarified by their attitudes and feelings that were characterized by bitterness and disappointment and the depression, we can identify the theme of the story, which is how people respond to great hardships such as drought. And in our book here, we can find that in this part, or in this table over there, when identifying the theme of the story, we can focus first on the setting and the question: what are the most important details about the setting of the excerpt From the Grapes of Wrath? The most important, of course, here, most important details is about a dust of the farmlands, and also abandoned or deserted tools and possessions by the farmers. Concerning the cultural and historical context of the story, the question is: what parts of the character's environment have the greatest impact on their choices? We can identify that the characters cannot survive as farmers due to drought and the failing economy of the city. They have to sell off and even burn any equipment and possessions they cannot take to California with them. Also, concerning the characters' actions and the reactions, if we focus on the question, how do men and women in the excerpt respond differently to their situation? Of course, it was clear at the beginning of the story that the men were ruthless and the women were regretful. The men, of course, didn't have any feelings about the life they were having. They decided to forget about their past and start a new life. But the ladies and the women, of course, were regretful. They regretted such kind of pleasant and good life. And if we move to the part of the theme on the right here, so what general truth is developed by these story elements? We can identify that driven into poverty by both natural and economic disaster, we can figure out that people will make heartbreaking and seemingly heartless decisions in order to follow any path toward hope and survival. So in this part, we can find out that John Steinbeck doesn't directly set the scene in this excerpt. He doesn't say this part of the story takes place on farms at all, but he reveals this setting through details such as the people ongoing farming or the people owning farm tools and equipment. And also he establishes the cultural context through the words the characters spoke in the story. And if we focus on the part in the story which is the text mentioned or taken from the story, that just about fills us right off the sides of the trailer, and the kids can sit in the trailer and grandma on a mattress. This part was in paragraph 13. And these words of course reveal that those people felt great bitterness, and they couldn't of course think of that. They decided to leave all what they suffered in Oklahoma and started to move to California, searching for a new life, a new hope. This is the part of today. You will find that there will be some questions as home assignment over there on MyU. You can answer them referring back to this part. This part can help you answer them easily. Thank you.